Hi, I am Dr. Arundathi. I am consultant dermatologist at Dr. Sculpt aesthetic clinics in Indiranagar and Sahakarnagar, Bengaluru. So fat loss is an aesthetic goal that is shared by many of us, men and women alike. So losing weight and being able to wear the clothes that we want gives us a boost of self-confidence and even changes the way the world sees us. So even if we are on a strict diet and exercise regimen, sometimes, even when we try our hardest, we might not be able to lose weight evenly from all parts of our body. And sometimes there might be stubborn pockets of fat that don't seem to go despite our best efforts. For some of us, what happens is we might not be able to devote the time and attention a dedicated exercise regimen usually demands. And sometimes what happens is we are caught up with our work, and in some instances we have too many things happening around us. Like, say for example, a new mom who has gained some bit of fat during her pregnancy might not be able to devote the kind of time that is required to lose all of the fat that she gained in the past few months. So what usually results is that we are left with pockets of fat, say on our tummy or the thighs, etc., that we are extremely conscious about and we want to shed, but we are not able to shed with our current regimen. So for these kind of patients who have a last bit of stubborn body fat to lose, there exist certain surgical and non-surgical options. But of course, the gold standard of treatment remains liposuction. In liposuction, what we do is there is direct removal of body fat from these particular areas, and there is more complete removal, and it can be combined with sculpting or shaping the body in a way that we want, to say to get an hourglass figure, or to get a six-pack abs, or to create calves and muscle definition. It can also be combined, that is liposuction can also be combined with a skin tightening that you can do beneath the skin that will tighten the loose and lax skin that can remain after the fat is removed. But not all of us are prepared to go through a surgery. So we are worried about the pain, the downtime involved and other factors. And we would like a simple non-surgical option, preferably a minimally invasive or a completely non-invasive option that you can opt for at the clinic, which will help reduce this stubborn fat. So there are certain treatments. There is this treatment which combines fat loss along with skin tightening, and this particular treatment can be very effective against cellulite as well. So this is a revolutionary new technology that uses RF based energy or radiofrequency energy in order to achieve all these three things. So it can remove fat, it can tighten the skin, and it can also reduce cellulite, which is different from the other options that are out there, which usually is like a fat freezing techniques that are out there. This is how the RF based techniques are different from the fat freezing techniques. So how does this RF based technology actually work? So first we need to understand that the number of fat cells in our body stays constant. So it can neither increase nor decrease normally or naturally. So when we consume energy or when we consume food that is in excess of what our body needs, it converts that excess food into fat. This fat is stored in these fat cells. So when the fat is stored in the fat cells, these fat cells increase in size, swell up, and this is visible as weight gain or increased girth of the body. So goes without saying, any non-surgical option that we choose should be able to reduce the number of fat cells permanently in order to have long-lasting or permanent results. So how do these RF-based technologies actually work to achieve this? There are two things RF-based devices do. One is it heats up the skin and increases the skin temperature or the temperature at the level of the fat layer. So this actually increases metabolism inside the fat cells, causing the fat to get burnt up. And second thing that it does, which is more long term or gives you longer term results, is basically the device creates this short RF pulses which have the ability to destroy the fat cell permanently. So ideally we recommend 6 to 8 such sessions over 6 to 8 weeks as a treatment protocol. Now with each session what happens is there can be a continued inch loss, or you might notice a decrease in girth or inch loss over a period of 2 to 4 months following each single session. So essentially by the time you finish your fat loss sessions, you might notice that there might be continued results that are visible even 6 months after the treatment. So the results can improve even 6 months after the last session basically. So what makes this RF based devices the best non-invasive option for fat loss? So I'll just compare it with a very popular technology out there that uses the technology of freezing the fat in order to achieve the results. So in the RF based devices that we use, there is not only fat loss, but it can cause skin tightening as well. Whereas in the fat freezing technology, there is inch loss doubtless, but it does not have the ability to tighten the skin after the procedure. Second thing, so RF based devices might cause a little bit of redness and a little bit of warmth on the skin after the procedure, whereas certain times fat freezing techniques, not very common, but sometimes it can leave behind some bruising and other complications or side effects of the treatment as well. This is not common but can happen. And thirdly, so basically what happens in the RF based devices is that it is more targeted. So it is more operator dependent, so we can target specific areas more effectively and more precisely with the RF based devices, whereas in the fat freezing technique, the targeting is not as precise as the RF based devices. And then fourth, so fat freezing technology uses certain consumables that has to be changed with every session, and that increases the treatment cost. So since RF based devices don't have these kind of consumable costs, they can work out cheaper than the fat freezing technology. Also, like I mentioned earlier, RF based devices also have the ability to reduce cellulite, whereas the fat freezing technology does not have the ability to reduce cellulite. So in essence, RF based devices are safer, they're more effective, and they're more precise while achieving good amount of skin tightening and cellulite reduction, and they seem to be a better option at the present. To know more about the treatment, you can always leave us a message in the comments, or you can always call us at the numbers mentioned below, and we'll be happy to help.